Oh, good old Carlton Banks, Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Recently, he was quoted as saying that he has been alienated in the black community due to his interracial marriage. Now, first and foremost, like, who's even checking for Alfonso Ribeiro? Like, Will Smith isn't even checking for him. So, like, you're going to put a blanketed statement out there about the African American community has alienated you because of your interracial marriage. Like, what is your relationship with your family? Because we don't even know you. Like, we don't even know you. We really don't care. The last I heard, he was hosting America's Funniest Videos. I didn't even know that still came on. But glad you're working. Glad, you're getting a check and you're able to take care of your household, I hope. But like, you really either have too much time on your hands, or you're extremely bitter, or somebody in the African American community hurt you, or maybe you're just deflecting and you're trying to look like a victim. Now, when that comment came out about him saying that, I was scratching my head. I was like, huh? Like, who are you even married to? I don't even know, and I don't even really care. But after that came out, okay, it came out that he did a video where he was making sexually explicit comments about his attraction to white women, and it resurfaced on social media, and so it's making a lot of people give him the side eye right now. Now, I'm going to play the audio of what he said at a concert several years ago about his love for white women. And hey, like, I guess you love what you love, right? But how ironic. It's like Twitter never sleeps. You come on here and you say something, and Twitter can find something to object to what you said or to contradict what you brought up, what you started, then they're going to bring it. So let's listen to this.
For me, because there's some hot white out here tonight. Okay, now.
Hey, Alfonso.
Now, I got to say, listen, I have been known to some white girls in my lifetime.
Yeah! Go, Alfonso, go!
Okay, now I have spent my life on some TMZ.
Yes.
And every time you see me in a club, guess who I walk out with?
Who?
A lovely blonde white chick.
All right, so after hearing that, like, what my thoughts were initially, it's true. Alfonso Ribeiro is who he is. Like, I've heard people call people like that a sellout. I personally am attached to somebody who, makes it very clear when people like that make, crazy comments like that's actually what you are. And in actuality, it is the truth for somebody like him. So I don't know if he's just feeling, he's feeling iced out because of his own actions, and he doesn't feel like he is invited to the barbecue, or he doesn't have anybody that he can really relate to right now, and he's becoming a victim of his own choices. But it's you, dude. It is you that is the problem. It's not the African American community, because nobody was really even sitting out here thinking about you in the African American community, in the Asian community, in the Caucasian community, in the Hispanic community, in the Indian community, Muslim community. Like, nobody was sitting out here talking about Alfonso Ribeiro, period. So that comment about him being alienated because of who he chose to marry, no, you're feeling regret. Like, if you're in some buyer's remorse because things may not be working out with the woman that you chose to get married to, then that's on you. But that has nothing to do with the African American community. So, like, take your Carlton dance down the street and, like, keep your comments to yourself, because it is clearly a detriment when you open up your mouth and then you truly get revealed for who you really are. So guys, you let me know your thoughts about him and all of this craziness in the comments section. Shaun King is a self-proclaimed activist regarding a lot of issues where it involves primarily Black men who have been victims of either unfortunate assassination or just, being brutalized by, police officers, and some children and, women as well. But he's had a lot of controversy over the past several years. But recently, some things came out regarding his home, and Tamir Rice's mother, she came out and made some comments about Shaun King because she is not really happy with him because, one, her son was shot and killed by the police, and she feels that Shaun King has used her son's image and likeness and used it for purposes that were just not cool, which was to raise money for causes that she was not involved in or involved with, and she didn't feel that it was right because he didn't get her permission to do that, and then she had to fight to get some of the funds so that she could do some things for the community that she is still living in, because she still lives where her son lost his life. So she hasn't benefited off of fundraising campaigns and all of those different things that are going on to better her life or her lifestyle. And so I would be angry too if I saw that someone was utilizing my child's image and likeness for the sake of their causes that they decided to do, that no one asked them to do, and your lifestyle is upgraded whereas mine is still where it was. And I didn't even get any justice in the situation because the people who took my son out, they're still, living scot-free, and that's the truth of the matter. But recently he came out because it was, I don't want to even say exposed, but I guess in a way it was an expose, because I don't think he's doing anything illegal, but whether it's ethical is the question. So it was reported that he and his family, they live in an $842,000 home in New Jersey. Now, is the home worth millions? I don't know what the equity is, but he's claiming that their home is pretty modest. I don't know. It could be. I'm not familiar with the real estate in that area, so I'm just saying what he says. But he and his wife, they shared some things on their social media accounts because recently, because of all of the reports that have come out about their home, and it's being reported where they live and their address has been made public, they said they're going to have to move out of their home because they don't feel safe. And that's, I guess it's sad, but I don't want anyone to be hurt in any way, and I don't advocate for that. But the activists of today honestly are people who, for the most part, it seems like their lifestyles get upgraded the more they are doing this so-called activism for injustices that happen in the African American community. And I'm not saying that anyone should struggle, for working, but when your lifestyles are, if you are already living that way, okay, but if your lifestyles are being upgraded during the process, then I feel that's questionable. Because if you look back on the activists back in the day, yeah, I know things are different now, but they're not that much different. There are some laws that are different, but there definitely is still a lot of things that are going on today that isn't any different than it was back then. And I don't know what Dr. Martin Luther King or Malcolm X's bank accounts look like, but I don't believe that they, their lifestyles were being upgraded that much as they were, active in the community and fighting for the rights of the people that they call their own. And in actuality, they died, and we know that. they were killed, and they really lost their lives for the causes that they were fighting for, and for the most part their lifestyles were not upgraded while they were here. Now, can we say that their families may have benefited over the years from being attached to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King? Well, yeah, it's true, absolutely. But I would say, yeah, they have every right to, because they lost their loved ones. But people like Shaun King and what's the other one? The Patrice Cullors, who was affiliated with the Black Lives Matter, and then I think there's another one. I don't think she's associated with Black Lives Matter, and she has her own foundation, Tamika Mallory. But these people, they get more fame, it seems, and more money as they are more active for these causes that they are supposedly fighting for. And again, I'm not hating on anyone who works hard and earns what they're working for, but if your come up is off of the lives of people's loved ones that were lost and the blood that they shed, then I don't think that's fair. So for Shaun King to, make these social media posts about how his children were crying because they have to move from their home, and he says that the home wasn't purchased by him or the money that he's raised, but because his wife used her credit and her income to get the house. That may be true, but that doesn't mean that she's the only one paying the bills. Let's just be honest. So, cry me a river, spare me all of that, because again, you're still alive and kicking, and you're able to pick up and move to another place. Whereas you had people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, where they had crosses being burned in front of their homes and fire bombs and all of these different threats and things like that were going on, and they weren't able to just pick up and move to another, better and greater home. So I can't really sit here and cry a river along with his children because they have to pick up and move. I'm quite sure they're going to be okay. And, that information, it is public knowledge. So if people wanted to look up the home purchase for him and his wife, unless they purchased it in a company name or an LLC or whatever to try to make things private, then it's public information. So it wasn't so much an expose or them being exposed. It's just public information that was made known to the general public that they had the right to do. So I'm not saying that those who did it had good intentions, but because a lot of things that have been going on is questionable with what he does with regards to him attaching himself to a lot of these causes. I mean, he's come up off of the work, the so-called activism that he's been doing. I mean, for years, he was on the Tom Joyner Morning Show several times a week, where he had like a regular segment where he was talking about issues and this happening and that happening. And so, yeah, he's definitely gotten a huge boost in popularity, familiarity, even maybe some sort of social activism celebrity, if that is a thing, based off of him being attached to these different situations and causes, which primarily was because people lost their lives or they were brutally injured and and hurt in some situation involving the police. So I can't really say I feel sorry for him. Like, what do you guys feel about it in the comment section? But here's the thing. A lot of the times that what he is doing with regards to petitions being signed, when you sign like a change.org petition or any of these different petitions that are circulating and going around, they collect your information, your name and your email address. That is money in the bank for a lot of businesses. And what he has is a business. He probably has a 501c3. I don't know. I'm just assuming that he does. But businesses, especially businesses online, businesses that operate where they communicate with people that they have something that they can offer to them, whether it's a book or a product or a class or a course or something like that, they collect these email addresses. So if they can collect a certain number of email addresses based on whatever the open rate is for those emails, if they get a percentage of the people who open those emails to give, contribute, buy, or whatever it is that they're imploring of those people in those emails, that is money in the bank for them. So it's a huge, huge business for people who get and collect email lists and different things like that when you have a business. So, and he also did it when the actor from Black Panther died. He wrote an email to his email list and he was talking about this gentleman, and then he used that to promote the sale of a book that he wrote, and he got backlash for that. So again, the email list, money in the bank. So you guys let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section. Do you feel like he's a victim in this situation, or do you feel that, look, it is what it is and I can't feel sorry for you. You get by the best way you know how, because you've been doing it for so long now. I'm sure you'll be okay moving forward.